Hey everyone, it's Kay from the Paper Shed. Hope you're all doing well. Thanks for coming back and joining me. We're back Friday. It's the last day of the fourth week and we've only got next week to go. I'm thrilled with this week. The storyline's been absolutely fabulous and I've loved reading it and trying to work out who the killer is, and we're going to find out on Monday. I'm so excited for the weekend. So it will be fabulous to find out who it actually is. So I won't do a flip through because I've not done anything in the middle of this one. I decided really to leave today to do a very, very quick and easy belly band. You know, I love my belly bands. So I wanted to make it sort of out of the leather look again, just because I think it looks quite good. And it's very quick and easy. And then we'll do a flip through of the whole journal that we've completed this week. And as you can see, I've got my red blood splatter and my coffee stains already going on in here. To get this effect, actually, which I think is quite cool, I used the oxide in the scorched timber. It's a little bit dark, but it looks like ground coffee. It's actually like it gives the effect of like a ground coffee, you know, the texture, and it looks actually quite good. I'm quite pleased with how it came out. Just didn't want to use black, so yeah, so that's what I used for that. But we'll talk about what we've done and what we haven't done this week in this one. I'm quite pleased because it is actually quite it's not as chunky as the others, which is obviously my objective getting towards the end, purely because I want to leave as many writing spaces as I can, and I also don't want to over chunk it all. So we'll go through all of that in a little while. You can actually use scraps for this. You don't need to use anything specific. I've chosen to use sort of this leather grain, which wasn't part of the kit. It's part of a different kit, but you could always use the cork. The cork one would look just as good because it's a pinboard, and you could probably make quite a good feature out of that. So I'm going to go and get my pieces together and my little bits of ephemera and stuff that I'm going to need to complete it, and I'll come back. Okay, so I've got my pieces already cut, and I'll just give you the sizes of those. So your first piece, which is this piece, needs to be 2 by 6. Your second piece, which is this piece, which is 2.5 by 4.5, and then your third piece, which is 4.5 by 2 3/4. And what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to put some holes in there, but I want to round the corners first. So I'm just going to quickly round the corners on these. And I'm just using a 160. I've printed on a 160, I think, for this one. And then what we want to do is we want to do some on our second piece, which is that piece there. Now, not everywhere needs a hole. So what we need to do is make some holes for some brads. So I want a hole there, move them all over to this side. Pop a hole out there. And then do the same with these ones at the top. Now, your second piece doesn't need holes in the top. So we're just going to take that one out, just as a reminder, otherwise I will forget. That's not a very good corner on there, is it? Okay. And then what we're going to do is just pop some brads in these 4 holes. So what we're going to do is we're going to place them where you think you might want them. And I'm going to go at the top here. My second piece then is going to go underneath and down to the bottom. And then my third piece is going to come in here, like so, to give you a lovely layered belly band. Okay, now you can cut these, you can snip them. I wouldn't suggest you use your good scissors, but they will cut quite easily and they will fling all over your craft room. Okay, so all I'm going to do then is just get some washi tape. Any washi tape will do, and I'm just going to stick some bits over the bottom of there and press that down while I'm at it, and it just stops anything from getting caught. And then what we're going to do is we are going to glue it down. Now I'm going to use Fabri-Tac because it's going over the washi and I want it to stick quite firmly. Now I'm going to put a piece there, and you leave the other part because you can only glue top and bottom. So I'm just going to get some pegs to stick there, just to make sure it's stuck down. This part needs to be left because obviously you don't want to hinder it. This is your second part, and that's going on the bottom here. Okay, so we're going to do that one. Probably used a bit too much glue last time. So just find out where you want it. You want it to overcome on here. Okay, I'm just going to get another peg and just glue that on. If I turn it, it'll help. Right, yeah, I sort of want to stick it where that is, so that I'll do the same up above here, just because I think it'll glue, but I've not tried it as such, so just want to get them on those brass for the minute. So I think I've left that long enough to have dried, if it's dried. I'm just going to remove those a minute. And then your first piece needs to come over the top of your second piece. But you can only glue it here and here. Okay? Onto your second piece. Nothing underneath. So I'm going to use art glitter for this, just for quickness. So it needs to come from about there. I'm having to wait too long for the glue. Yeah, about there. I don't want too much glue seepage, although most of that's going to be covered. Okay, and then this piece here is going to go over the top of this. Now you can only glue this where you've got your belly band underneath. So I think if we take it from this end, I need my glue filling back up. we take it from that end first and we'll glue that into place where it needs to be. Yeah, right there. I'm just going to pop just something underneath just to stop it from sticking to my page while I'm doing it. That needs to stick down to there. Now I don't mind if some bits, so these will be more difficult to glue because of the brads, and obviously you want it as straight as you can. I think I've put this one on a bit skew, but we'll have to live with it. And then we want to come all the way up here and then just across that bit there, and the rest can be left. So I'm thinking about here, around this bit and down there. Now this could actually be glued on all the way across there. Okay, so that's going to go on like so. Yeah. So if you want to double back this one, you probably could and get away with it. Now I have made a just a big large journal card just to go in there, just to sit in there really whilst we're working. And then what I did was I made a little topper. Now this tag came from these tags when we did where are they? When we did these tags here, I had to cut some things off, and what I did was I made the tags, the extras out of tags, and it's just one of those, so it's quite a sturdy tag. I've used a little bit of ephemera just at the back there, just to give it a bit of interest and put an eyelet in, and I've used my magnifying glass, and then I've stitched this key on. Now the lady who I saw do this, and I don't know her name unfortunately, I will try and link her video down below because she had some fantastic ideas, and well, all of it, the band and this key idea came from her. So I will try and link her video down below. And I'm just going to pop that on the top, and I love it. So I just used a bit of the fingerprint paper. I've used an evidence tag and my magnifying glass and the front of a letter, and then I've just sewn this key on the top. And then we're just going to stick that down. I'm going to just put some glue over this bit because it will stick up. Now you could actually put this on as an extra pocket if you wanted to, or you could put it on so that it stands proud with some foam tape if you wanted to. I'm just going to put that where I think I want it. Straighten it up. Have I got any on there? Now that key is going to make this page stand proud, you know, when it's closed, like so. It will stick out a little bit, so that's giving it extra bulk. But because I've got quite a bit less bulk in here, I'm quite happy with that. But I actually quite like that. I think it's beautiful. And I think you could use that in lots and lots of different ways. So, you know, for different themes as well. Doesn't have to be this leather type. It can be other types as well. You know, florals or, well, whatever you're making, really. That would look great in steampunk. And it's very grungy as well. I like it. So we'll just give you a quick flip through of what we've done this week. We did, I didn't do these on camera, but I did these, the flip cards, throughout the story, which is all at the very beginning. I've added boo-boo tape, coffee stain, and some ink splats in different places. which is actually quite nice. And then this was the other flap with all of the suspect things on there. Again, I've left plenty of journal space, a couple of more of the flaps there. And then this is the belly band that we've just done. These here were our hidden paper clips. And I didn't change this one, but I have changed the other two. This belly band that we made out of our tags, because I found that I had lots and lots of tags. I've just put some ephemera pieces behind there and into those pocket areas there. This is one of the ones that I changed. I just took the clue off and I've had to put something else on just to give that, you know, a better look of the way that it is. So that was that. I've also added the key charm on top of there. Then this was our other tags, the set of 3 tags from this week's freebies. And that was some ephemera, which isn't part of the kit. And then these are more journaling space, more coffee stain and some splatter. Again, I did exactly the same here. I just moved the clue and put a little cluster there, which is fine. And then on the very back is our box with our hidden ephemera in. And that's that for this week. So I'm really chuffed with that. I think it's lovely. And yeah, so I'll be popping that into the journal, and then next week when I do the full flip through, we'll see everything. So I hope you found that useful. Thanks so much for joining me. I will see you again next Monday with the beginning of week 5. Have a great weekend, folks. Enjoy your crafting, and I'll see you then. Bye for now. Take care.